So, welcome. My name is WriterMaven. I am the host of the Wrestling Machine podcast. I talk about all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, Ben, JD, now Roxanne, and poor Carlito. Um, this was actually a decent Raw. We didn't get much Judgment Day because they front loaded Judgment Day stuff in the first part of Raw, while Seth Rollins' group had to run wild because they had to reestablish themselves. Um, because they were floundering. They're already showing discord with this Seth Rollins group, so they had to reestablish themselves as a dominant group. It's whatever. But for what we got with Judgment Day, it was really interesting. It was impactful, and I enjoyed it. Dom and AJ were hilarious, and I'm going to get into that. And I'm already seeing some signs that we might be getting Liv sooner than we think. Um, but to get into things now, I'm going to go into Dom again because the man cannot win for losing. So pre Raw, there was a video of Dom, JD, Finn, Liv, and Raquel with their belts, and then everybody was jumping on Dom's ass. Oh, they're making Dom look dumb. Oh, he's rubbing his title in Liv's face. Oh, he's taking pictures and videos with Roxanne. And I'm like, it's his group. He's still a part of Judgment Day. He hasn't been kicked. He hasn't gotten kicked out yet. And he's pretty much acting the same way he's been acting for the last few months. Nothing has changed. And again, people are taking out their frustrations on how they want Dom to act on Dom when that shouldn't be the case. Like I get wanting him to crash out. I really do. I want him to burn down the Judgment Day clubhouse. But we're not getting that. But I'm not going to take that out on Dom when his character has not done anything to necessitate such vitriol towards him. And I'm just sick to death of it. Like everything Dom does that goes anti-Liv, that assumes that they go anti-Liv or anti what they expect Dom to do. Oh, he's playing in people's faces, like playing in her Liv's face. Like what the hell? And then here recently now, when Dom has the photo of Liv, Natty, and Maxine, people are saying, "Oh, he's playing in Liv's face." I'm like, it's a photo. He can't take a picture of a photo. And then people are like saying, "Well, that's Nikki is Liv's ops." I'm like, I don't fucking care if Nikki is Liv's ops. Liv took pictures with Ray, with Rusev, and Lana, and nobody said jack shit about it. So how come when Liv was taking pictures with Dom's ops and Ray, nobody said shit, but as soon as Dom takes like a little picture with Nikki, then it's he's playing in Liv's face. Like these fans are really starting to sound like Rhea stands at this moment. Because the man can't do shit. Like, is he supposed to be a monk? Is he not supposed to take a picture? Is he not supposed to do anything? Like, it's a photo. Like, it's one thing to be having what was it back in the day? GTV, where how like Eddie Guerrero got caught in the shower with those two women. It's one thing to have something like that happen. Yeah, fire and brimstone on Dom's ass if something like that happens. But just a photo when other people have taken photos with their ops or anybody else or something like that, like the man can't win for losing. And I'm really sick to death of it. Like I am like at this point, if I didn't like Liv and Dom so much, I'd be just wanting Dom to go on his own just so he can get away from this shit. It's exhausting. Like you can't go on social media and appreciate what Dom is doing without somebody crashing the fuck out. It's like when that video dropped, the Dom with Judgment Day. People are crashing out. Oh, Dom is looking dumb. I'm like, it's a video with this group. If he's going to be in the Lions Den, he has to act a certain way. He's on his own. What is he supposed to act like? Is he supposed to be super kicking Rhea? Is he supposed to be snarling at Finn? Like, what is he supposed to do? And for right now, currently within the storyline, it's not making sense because of how not Roxanne, it's not making sense because of how Raquel is acting right now. So I can't even hold what Dom is doing against him because the storyline seems like it's flipped on itself again. And now Raquel is the one having problems. You see what I mean? So if Raquel is having problems now, then how am I going to have problems with Dom being just in a happy state right now? I'm just tired. Like if I didn't like Liv and Dom so much, I'd be like I would just say like cut your losses and go. Seriously, because it's just exhausting. Right? It's like how, like I said, it's like how when Dom raised Elektra Lopez's arm last year, people wanted to jump all over Dom for doing that, even though Elektra Lopez was a part of Legado del Fantasma, who is the stable of Santos, and that was the person he was going to be partnering with at WrestleMania. Like he couldn't help out a stablemate of Santos, who the one that was going to be the partner for him at WrestleMania 39. No, 40, 40, 40, 40. Like he couldn't do that. He couldn't take a peek. I'm like, even if he did take a peek, it's a peek. I mean, I saw Rhea straight out flirt with Drew and Jey Uso, and nobody gave any kind of sympathy for Dom. Like nobody was saying, "Oh, Rhea's wrong for flirting in Dom's face with Jay, flirting with Jay after super kicking his head off." Nobody was saying that. It was just like, "Oh, watch out, Dom. Rhea's gonna leave you." Dom never got an ounce of sympathy for that. None. I was there, but the very minute Dom might have taken a little bitty peek at Elektra Lopez, and I would have taken a peek too because Elektra looks fine as hell. Everybody wanted to come for his neck. Nobody gave him any sympathy, and he wasn't even directly flirting with Elektra Lopez like Rhea was doing with Jay. It's just so tiring. And then here, like, what happens if somebody was running up on Liv flirting with Liv? Would Dom get any kind of sympathy? No. Like, I bet you right now, if some guy came up to Liv and she was there and started flirting with Liv, you would not be getting the "oh poor Liv, oh Liv is playing in Dom's face." You would not get that. I bet you. I would almost guarantee it that Dom would not get that sympathy. But if somebody want to run up on Dom and maybe flirt a little bit, then Dom, if he doesn't super kick the woman's head off, then he's playing in Liv's face. I'm tired. I'm fucking tired of it. Like I can't enjoy it. Like you got to almost pull yourself off of social media, and I can't really do that because I have to look at social media to get all my information so I can talk to you guys. So I have to look at it. And it's just so aggravating and draining because every time you get a turn around, it's some kind of crash out about Dom, and it's just some kind of crash out about Dom playing in somebody's face when it's not the chase. But like Kendall says, it's just like it's being a Dom fan is not for the weak, and it really isn't. You have to go through everything as being a Dom fan. You have to go through the highs and lows. You can't, you're always having to be on your guard to defend Dom for some kind of bullshit. Like I said, I could almost expect it if Dom was actually acting like Eddie Guerrero and he was flirting and he had women in the shower and he was just looking at all types of women. Okay, fine, get after him for that. So it's just it's just frustrating. But I will applaud Dom for clapping back at people, for or at least clapping back at Nikki for that photo because he just says like a shout out to all my fans. um, so it was kind of like a clap back there. Like my friend said, like he should have just posted the Clinton gift there and just really sent people into a tizzy. But anyway, yeah, that's my little rant for tonight. And like I said, um, it's like I said, it's just exhausting sometimes to be the Dom fan because, like I said, you just have to go through it. You can't have any peace. And and like I said, if he was actually doing something wrong, like if he was actually doing something against Liv, then yeah, maybe I can see it. But he's not. I mean, he was barely doing something against Rhea, and he got all kinds of shit. So, anywho, let's get into Raw, shall we? Um, Monday Night Raw starts out with Rox leading the walk in to Judgment Day. People were pissed about that. Now, pay attention to Raquel's um expression and actions here and then compare it to the Judgment Day Clubhouse, which I'm going to talk about now. Um, so when we get into the Judgment Day Clubhouse, Ben has all the belts in front of him like a snake. Like he's really trying to put it out. He's doing the most, but he really ain't doing jack shit. Like he has all the belts in front of him, like he's like coordinated like a mass coup or something like that. Um, JD and Dom are playing darts, and it's all a happy family. See, this is why I said this is why I can't get after Dom and how he's acting, because everything seems like it keeps flipping. First, Finn was like acting like a heel, and now everything is like he's a face almost. So it's like we're getting a happy family type of situation. Calm before the storm, maybe, but the story is flipping on itself. Raquel comes in all hot and she sees the shrine set up by Roxanne for Liv. Now this looks like a regular like altar shrine, like when somebody's passed away. So we have Liv's picture there with candles and all that. And Roxanne's like, I did this for Dawn so he can feel, because he misses her and all that, yada yada yada. And Raquel is all hot about it, and I'm like, okay, Raquel, why are we now having a problem with Roxanne? Just almost 1, 2 weeks ago, you were hugging on Roxanne and you had no problems with Roxanne. So what's the about face here? You see what I mean about the storyline? The storyline has flipped again. Like, why now is it Roxanne, not Roxanne, why is it now is it Raquel having the problem with Roxanne? I can't even predict the storyline anymore because it's flipped so much within this whole shitty 8 to 9 month period, almost a year period now, where nothing makes sense. Why is Raquel having a problem with Roxanne? Like this, because Roxanne did help her. So unless this is all a show, and it's possible that it could be all a show, it still doesn't make sense. Um, and then Raquel says that Liv is rehabbing. Now, pay attention to Raquel. She says that Liv has been rehabbing every day, and then, but previously it was every other day. So is it that she's talking with Liv, or is it that Liv is still talking to her and updating her on a timetable? So it's either or. And then Finn comes in, and then he's saying like, "I had that injury and I was out for 8 months." So this leads me to believe that Liv is going to be here sooner rather than later, and she might be here earlier than SummerSlam. I was saying that Liv is going to show up as like a surprise at SummerSlam, but right now, I'm actually thinking she might pop up the Monday after Evolution. I'm going to get into why I say that later when I talk about the Roxanne versus Kairi Sane match. But I have a inkling that we'll see Liv on that Monday after Evolution. And then, so Roxanne Raquel kind of get into a little bit before they leave because Roxanne has that match for Kyrie, like I mentioned. And then Dom later is thanking Finn and JD for the cake. And they said that they didn't get it. So Dom goes back to the cake and he reads it and it says, "Get well soon from AJ." And then we have the hilarious shift because Dom was like, "AJ?" And then we have this hilarious camera shift of Dom turning around and the camera kind of goes like sort of behind Dom's shoulder, and then it focuses on AJ hiding behind the like this like what was this like it looks like a toolbox almost, but AJ is like hiding behind this toolbox. He's peeking out around it, and then he's looking at Dom, and then he does like that "I see you" eye motion with like the fingers and eyes, and he's looking at Dom, and he's doing that before he takes off, and then Dom does the hilarious thing of going back to the cake, grabbing the doctor's note, the same doctor's note that we saw last week. He grabs the doctor's note and he chases after AJ. "Hey, I have a doctor's note. I have a doctor's note." I was I was dying. That was hilarious. That made my night. It made me feel better because that's what I wanted. If y'all were listening to me yesterday, is like I wanted that type of interaction. I want some kind of antics of AJ maybe trying to catch Dom when he's not showing he's injured or something like that. Just something that kind of keeps it going until Dom finally gets caught and then he has to put up the IC title on the line. But this was this was so funny because you have AJ peeking around this toolbox, giving the I see you eye motion to finger motion to Dom. Dom is over there grabbing this doctor's note that he just happens to have at the ready of whenever AJ pops up. And then we get the nice and then how Dom just reads out the words on his cape like AJ. So it was just hilarious. I loved it. We need more of that. I was hoping we were gonna get some more of those two throughout the night, but we didn't get it. So I was disappointed on that end, but I just like I said, I just really, really enjoyed that little interaction between Dom and AJ. Give me more. Um 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 and the shrine, just for some other notes from regarding this clubhouse scene, the shrine to Liv was way over the top, but in the right way. Like it's just like they're pretty much presenting Liv as dead, and but you did get like Dom and Raquel kind of throwing kisses to that picture, so I thought that was really cute. Um, like I said, they keep mentioning timetables. I think Liv will be back sooner than later. Like I said, I think she might be back on that Monday after Evolution. I'm going to get into why later. And then, like here, like I said again, Raquel is just being confusing. I'm not getting why she's having so much problems with Roxanne now. And Finn is still trying to act like the leader, and we see that this ultimately fails when we get into Roxanne and Kari. It was a good match. We did see Roxanne kind of do her own variation of like Liv's hip swivel, kind of. This leads me to another theory. I'm going to get into this a little bit regarding what Roxanne could be trying to do. It was a good match. Kyrie wins. Like I said, I was kind of expecting it. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if I was saying yesterday, like I would be surprised that Carrie wins this, and she did. We're gonna see why, and we see why she won. Because Raquel and Roxanne attack her after the bell, and that just summons Asuka, who where they just all of them just brawl until Asuka and Kyrie just clears the ring Raquel, and then Asuka plants. Was it Asuka planting? No, it was like a tag team move on Roxanne with Asuka and Kari. And so we have the Kabuki Warriors reuniting. Um, of course, my notes say if you listen to Finn, you lose, and that's what happened here. I was kind of hoping we would get like a reaction shot for Finn being frustrated with that, but we didn't. Raquel is still all over the place because she's still like supporting Roxanne here. Like, how are we going to go from being upset with Roxanne to supporting Roxanne? It's like I said, it's still all over the place. But I do have a nice little theory here. Maybe with Roxanne and the shrine, maybe they're trying to do like a PG version of single white female. Or if you want to compare it to something else in the wrestling vernacular, compare her to Mickie James when she was after Trish Stratus. Maybe it doesn't go that far, but maybe we get like a single white female type thing with Roxanne where she's trying to replace Liv. And that's why I said if Liv comes back on Monday, then they could kind of run something like that all the way to SummerSlam. You see what I'm saying? So it could be like a I want to replace you kind of type obsession type thing where they take single white female and they take Mickie James and they we get like this kind of like a mini obsession storyline. Now, I don't think it's gonna run too long because if they do it, I think they're gonna maybe run it for a little bit so that's just so they could just cut Liv and Dom out of Judgment Day and they could be on their own. Because I really don't think they're gonna have Liv and Dom like prolong this feud. Like it's gonna get to probably AJ and maybe Finn, but after that, it's gonna be cut off. Like I think it's gonna be like everybody's just gonna be cut loose. Dom, Liv going one way, and then maybe Raquel, Finn, JD, and Roxanne go another. That's what I think. So yeah, I think we might be getting some single white female vibes from Roxanne, and we'll see if we looking at it at like SmackDown and Evolution, and then the Monday Night Raw afterwards. Um, 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 let's see. Okay, so Asuka and Kari went to Scrap Daddy Adam Pierce because they were taught, they wanted Judgment Day, and Scrap Daddy says, well, you could be the Raw tag team in that Fatal 4-Way at Evolution for the tag team titles, and then they reformed the Kabuki Warriors. Now the hilarious bit in this was Adam Pierce dancing. I implore you to go back and watch when Kari and Asuka were in the office with Adam Pierce, and he starts dancing. I was laughing. That was hilarious. But now we know why Asuka and Kari why Kari got that win, because they needed to set up for them to be the Raw tag team um, for Evolution. Now I'm gonna be a little bit nitpicky here because we did get the spoiler kind of photo of it was gonna be the Dungeon Dolls with Natty and Maxine. So I wonder what happened there. And then they announced Sol Roca and Zarya out of the blue for NXT. I'm like, are we not doing any kind of more qualifiers? So you had um Charlie and Alexa do a qualifier, but for Raw they just Adam Pierce just names it, and then for NXT they just name it. I was like, this is just so lazy. Like this is why they are setting up Evolution to fail. And maybe on Friday I'm gonna have to go on live and just talk about like how they've done this whole Evolution PLE dirty, because this was just so haphazard and lazy. Like they couldn't do a qualifier of um Kari and Asuka and something about some teams from NXT, but no, we just gotta name it. So, but Kari winning here does not change my initial prediction of Roxanne and Raquel losing. I still think those belts go to Charlie and Alexa, and them losing on Sunday, and then when they have the Monday Night Raw, and then Liv shows up, she could be mad at them for losing her title, because look, the title still says Liv on it, and that's another indicator that they might go with this obsession route with Roxanne. But if you still have the side plates on there that says Liv, and you lose the belts, you pretty much lost Liv's belt without her doing anything. So Liv could come back and just be mad at Roxanne and Raquel for losing her title. You see what I mean? So she might be back sooner than we think. I would not be surprised if she pops back up on Monday. She may not. They may not wait for SummerSlam for her. If she's okay to travel, and even though she got surgery, the surgery wasn't like a super serious surgery. Like surgery is serious, but there's degrees with it. So if it wasn't that bad of a surgery for Liv, She could be back next week. I wouldn't be surprised. Um. Then we also had a hilarious bit of New Day morning. Like they were all in black and like heavy veils and stuff like that. I'm like, y'all too. They were saying the tag team division is dead. I'm like, it's always been dead, man. At least the Raw division has been. This also leads to the funny bit of New Day demanding their rematch. And then Becky comes up and she's like, "Oh, my condolences." Like, just heels commiserating together. So she comes up to the New Day, who's still all this black and this veil, and Becky Lynch comes up and she's like, "Oh, my condolences." Like, just really giving sympathy. That's another funny bit too. So, like I said, this Raw was really decent just for the character interactions. Um, we had the JD promo. It's the same one. This is the same one that they aired before. I think they've been doing a lot of these promos during the commercial break. So if you're on the American feed and you're not on the VPN, you won't see these, but you will see these on international because they showed the same Kairi Sane promo later on in the night too. This promo shows like he was saying like he sticks by Finn. I was like maybe that's a hint that he's gonna stay by Finn, but I don't know. Maybe he goes on his own afterwards as well. Um, and then I must complain, or at least like roll my eyes at this Rhea and Io promo, because what are we doing with this promo? Why they're just really trying to set up Rhea like as some underdog. Oh, I've never beaten Io. Like, yeah, you never beaten Io, but are you an underdog? No. It's kind of like how people saying that Liv is an underdog. No, she's not an underdog either. But Rhea, for damn sure, is not an underdog. Why are we trying to present her that way? Yeah, she hasn't beaten Io, and yeah, Io's probably had her number, but the whole promo just put me off. Because one thing, we never did get any kind of live promo for Io. Like they could put this in the ring, they could run this promo and then have them do something in the ring. You know that Io is losing that title on Sunday, and this is all you got for her. So she held the title from WrestleMania all the way to Evolution, and if she loses at Evolution, she wouldn't have no promos, she wouldn't have no other title defenses, and she just been treated dirty. And all we're getting with this promo is this sympathy of I'm just trying to, trying to win and things like that. I was just off put by the whole promo. Like it's too late. It's too late to do that type of promo with Rhea. Like it would be more believability if that came from like a Bianca. It would be more believability if it came from. I think Charlie almost would pull that off a little bit better. Like you can't pull off this like if Charlie Flair pulled off like this promo of her losing and she's trying to get back on the horse, I would actually believe her because she's actually had the losses. Like I've seen her lose. She got pinned at WrestleMania. We've seen that. With Rhea, she loses, but it's such a protected loss. And I'm supposed to believe that she's an underdog? Yeah, I didn't like it at all, and I really didn't like it for Io because Io could have done so much more for Io, and then they didn't even show up. Like, how do you if this is going to be the main event? Like, how can you make this the main event over Becky, Lyra, and Bayley, who actually have the hotter story? You see what I mean? That's the story that should be main eventing. But if you default it all the way back to Rhea, like what did Rhea and Io do to deserve a main event? And people were saying, well, it's just a simplistic story of Rhea trying to get the big one. You can have a simplistic storyline, but you still have to execute it properly. This should have been something building for a while, and this shouldn't have been thrown together at the last minute. Like I know they had the injury with Liv, and that threw stuff into chaos at the last minute. Like I know they had the injury with Liv, and that threw stuff into chaos apparently. But you can't run this story. It's simple, but there's no filling, there's no meat to it, nothing. You just get one little promo and that's it. Like I said, it I just don't like that. I feel especially for EO fans, but all I gotta say to those EO fans, we told you so. We told you so. We knew that this was gonna happen. I'm like, you might be able to get a win over Rhea here and it goes to SummerSlam. But I doubt it. We thought that Liv was gonna win at the Netflix premiere. Let's see what happened. So yeah. Like I can have a little, maybe I have a little sympathy for EO fans, but not much. Y'all were the ones that were pushing and wanted EO into that triple threat. Now look what happened. She had no title defenses, and now she's gonna drop the title back to Rhea when with no kind of reign, no kind of decent reign. That's all. That's almost like on. That was almost on them for that. Like they bitched and moaned. It should be EO and the AAA. And I really blame some of these dirt sheets for whipping up people into a frenzy, because this is why I have problems with a certain reporter right now. I'm not going to mention his name because they were so gun ho about it being EO, and they whipped up the IWC into this frenzy that it was going to be IO. So when EO didn't win the Royal Rumble or EO didn't get into Elimination Chamber, they pushed and pushed and pushed until they got EO in there, and she got the belt, but she had no title reign. And I'm like, that's what happened. They wanted to push out their false narrative. They really wanted to say it was going to be Rhea versus Io, and that completely, and it didn't end up being that because they ended up being busted. That's why I said, like, the WWE feeds a lot of these dirt sheets information. So when they want to bust a reporter, all they have to do is feed them some false information and then go a different direction. It's kind of like how the Alexa thing. Like they fed. I mean, Dave Meltzer isn't like a beacon of accurate reporting, but like he could have absolutely been fed some information saying that Alexa wouldn't be there, and just so the WWE can pop up with Alexa later on, just to discredit Dave Meltzer further. It's happened before. It's the same thing with like the CM Punk thing. You know, when CM Punk returned, what was it, 2 years ago? When CM Punk returned, a lot of dirt sheets said that he was not returning, and only for him to return at Survivor Series. Yeah, it was a last minute contract, yada yada yada. But they were obviously working towards getting CM Punk there. So it discredited a lot of the dirt sheets. That's why I say take the dirt sheets with a grain of salt. They might be accurate for now, but it doesn't take long for the WWE to feed the dirt sheet reporter some bad information just so they can flip it on its head and do the opposite thing. And they also can feed some information just to find out the leaks as well. That's been happening before too. But anywho, I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of the EO stuff was a lot of her own fans making. Like they wanted it, they got it, and now look what happened. I can't really commiserate. The only fans that I really commiserated with were Bianca fans because she was done dirt. Bianca was the one that got done dirty. She won the Elimination Chamber. She got treated like the heel. She went overseas, and they wouldn't. And see, the WWE wouldn't rectify the situation with Bianca. Like they could have done so much more where they knew that Rhea was just going to keep getting those reactions. They could have done something to mitigate that a little bit. Because as soon as Bianca came back after WrestleMania and out of Rhea's vortex, she was getting cheered. They could have done so much more, but no, they let pretty much Bianca hang on the cross and get booed, and just so they could have Rhea forced into the match. And that's what always kills me about some of these stuff. Can be right about stuff. Drew McIntyre was is right about a lot of things, but in this case, Bianca was right, and she got booed for it, but that shouldn't have necessitated a heel turn for her. So you see what I mean? Bianca is pretty much out of the whole WrestleMania triple threat match. Bianca is pretty much the only one that I felt bad for, and that's where my sympathy goes to, is Bianca. Io and Rhea, please. I'm not giving a lot of Io fans a lot of sympathy on it. But that was a long diatribe to go to talk about that. Um, but to wrap everything all up, I really think that Liv will be back sooner than expected. Like I said, I would not be surprised if she showed up after Evolution on Monday Night Raw. Raquel's storyline is all over the place. Like the whole Judgment Day storyline is all over the place, but Raquel right now is way out over the place. Like I'm not sure what they're trying to do. Um, we might have Roxanne try to do like a Mickie James or single white female when it comes to Liv. We'll probably see more on that maybe at Evolution and maybe at Raw next week. I really hope they continue the AJ and Dom hijinks. If they want to carry that on for another couple of weeks, like 1 or 2 weeks, I'd be happy with it. Keep it going. As long as they keep having some interactions with each other, I'm fine with them delaying the match for SummerSlam or announcing the match for SummerSlam until later, just so I can get some more Dom and AJ hijinks.